Well, you probably thought you'd never see me again. Hi guys, and welcome back to the KnitKnackChat knitting podcast. I am your host, Zach. Today, February 14th, 2021, I am coming to you from Lacrosse, Wisconsin, in my dorm apartment on the Viterbo University campus. I am so happy I'm back recording. It's been about 6 weeks. I said it was probably going to be about 4, but things got really busy and I couldn't really find a time to record. But today my roommate is working, so I have the apartment to myself. I just finished a shift and I don't know if you can tell, but I currently have some band-aids on my hands because I was running the rail system for the recorded production of the Nutcracker that the Lacrosse Dance Center is doing. They're recording it, so we had to film the snow scene, which involved a lot of pulling up and down on a rope, and we did it twice in a row. So that was exhausting. Now I have blisters on my hands. Hope they heal fast so I can get back into my knitting. But yeah, it's been about 6 weeks. And I have a lot of knitting to share, some finished objects, some new whips, a few acquisitions, and probably just some banter to go along in that. You guys can find me and follow me on Instagram and Ravelry, if you can access Ravelry, at KnitKnackZach. So that's KnitKnackZack. So yeah, both of those links will be in the description below. I also want to, before we get any farther, thank everybody who has joined me. I have like almost 200 subscribers on YouTube, and I had no idea that I would ever get that far. I didn't even think I would get past 100, and I did in like a week and a half. So again, I'm sorry for everybody who newly subscribed and has only watched my first episode and my first vlog that I have up on the channel right now, but I promise I'm gonna try to make videos more often. I probably won't be every 2 weeks like most people because I am a college student and I have other priorities that I have to get done. So I really hope that you guys can bear with me and stay on this journey with me as I am so that I can bring you guys some amazing content. I guess right off the bat, I'm just gonna hop right in and show you some of my finished objects that I've made in the last, like, 6 weeks that I've been gone. And I just realized I forgot one. I don't think it's far, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have all of my finished objects laid out in front of me. And first, we're gonna start off with the very obvious sweater that I'm wearing. So if you guys remember, in the last podcast, I had this sweater. I think I was on the sleeves, somewhere on Sleeveland, with this sweater in the last podcast, and I finished it. And oh my gosh, is this gorgeous? So this is the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie May. I knit it out of entirely Muse yarn that I helped hand dye. It's probably blowing out a lot with just this natural lighting. But this is in the colorway recipe kitchen sink, which again, I dyed myself with the help of my boss, Sarah at Muse. So I did alternate skeins, and oh my gosh, is this soft. So this is in her Surrey and her 4-ply 100% merino fingering base. So the fingering base is called Crane Wife and the Surrey is called Egret. So it's like super cozy, and I'm not even wearing a shirt on under this because it's just like super soft and warm. And I'm kind of getting hot, but I'm not gonna take it off. But yeah, I absolutely love this sweater, and I want to knit like 3 more of them, and I want to knit one in black. So I have plans. I don't have yarn yet, but I have plans to knit one in black. Some modifications I already know I want to make is I want to do a different cast on, because I couldn't even get my head through the cast on hole. I had to have my boss rip out my cast on edge and put my yarn back on my needles because I was just too scared to do it. And then I reknit that. I did the tubular bind off for the bottom, and I also am not a huge fan. It's really stiff for me. And I have enough where I probably could do an entirely new bottom ribbing. Like I could just like pick up an inch or so, or like a few stitches above my ribbing, cut my ribbing off entirely and just knit a whole new ribbing. But I don't think I'll do that. I might, I don't know. I'm bored right now, so I probably will. I currently do have a sweater on the needles finally, so I might not get to that. But it's not enough to bother me. I can still get it over my head and everything. Yeah, but this is like absolutely gorgeous. I don't wear this enough, just because that's like how my life is right now. It's like I can wear sweaters, but like I don't really have like a good need to wear them, I guess. I mean, it's cold, so like I should wear them and show them off, but who knows, maybe I'll wear them more often. And I just love this sweater so much. I can't get enough of it. I think I'm probably, if and when I do my black one, I'll probably just do that in a DK weight, just because I don't want it to be super fuzzy and super like warm, because the Surrey does add so much warmth to this, that I'm just gonna do a DK and see how that turns out. But yeah, there's so much I want to, oh, I love this sweater so much. Okay, so I talked about that. A lot of my other finished objects are socks. I have one other sweater, kind of, that isn't for me, but it's a gift for my cousin. So my cousin, last summer, like during quarantine, was like, can you make me a sweater? And I said, yeah, sure. If you want to like look at my boss's shop and like pick out yarn that you want, go ahead. And so she did, and I got the sweater, I got the yarn she wanted, and then I picked out some mini skeins to add to it. It was originally going to be a super scrappy sweater with like stripes, and I knit it completely, and it just like didn't really fit right. It was kind of like tight all over, and I'm like, oh, whatever. So I ripped it out once. And then I started it again with the stripes. And then I ripped it out because I didn't like the sweater at all. Also, this sweater has mohair in it, so it was a pain to rip out. But I remember I was working in the shop one day, and we were talking about mohair with a few customers, and they were like, oh, have you heard about like freezing your mohair? So like, I guess the thing is, if you freeze mohair, it like separates the fibers so that they're easier to like take apart. So I did that, and like, wow, did that work. And I was able to, when I was ripping apart the first time, I left the mini skeins that I striped in. And then I was like, I really don't like this like combination that I have in like the order it is on the sweater. So the third time, or the second time and last time I ripped it out, I also ripped the fingering weight mini skein threads out. So now I just have a plain, it's a DK and a fingering and a mohair held together. So here is it. It's actually like kind of tiny, which I think is so funny. And I haven't woven in my ends or blocked it yet. But this is the Simple Edition by Stephanie Lotven. Yeah, super, super cozy. It's 1x1 rib the entire time, which is like kind of annoying, and like I kind of hated it, but it's fine. I also, me knowing my gauge, I should have just gone up a needle size, but I didn't, so like it probably could have been a little bigger. But this is the small. The fingering weight, I don't know if you can tell at all, but the fingering weight oh no, that's blowing out. Okay. The fingering weight that is held in with this DK is Crane Wife again in the colorway Harbor by Muse. And then the Mohair is Wren, which I don't think Sarah sells much of anymore. She doesn't sell her Mohair much anymore. But she does have some in stock in the store. So if you call and it's not on the website, or if you're on the website and it's not there, she probably has it. You just have to like call and be like, hey, what Mohair do you have? Because there's not many the last time I was there. And then the DK that I have in here is, I think it's a DK. It's just Baroque vintage DK, something inexpensive. But yeah, I'm excited to finally block this and get this done for her. But right now I'm going to show you one of my whips because it's related to this project. It's another gift for my cousin. So in this small little sock bag that I got from Unwound in Lacrosse here, I'll talk more about Unwound at the end because I had some sad news from them, which totally sucks. But so I ripped out those mini skeins and I'm making a pair of socks for my cousin. Oh gosh, okay. Making a pair of socks for my cousin. These are the Play socks by Stone Knit. Yeah, it's just a super simple, oh my gosh, super simple colorwork sock. I am knitting these on a US 2. Right now I'm knitting the cuff, the toe, the heel, and I'm gonna knit the toe on a US 1. Cause the way the pattern, it's written really weirdly, where the way it's written is you start on a smaller size needle with smaller stitches, and then you increase up to the number of stitches you'll get onto a bigger needle. It doesn't say to switch needles at the heel and toe, but I wanted to because I wanted to keep the gauge the same. Because you go back down to, because I cast on 64 stitches on a US 1. I knit my ribbing, and then I switched to my US 2 to do the color work. And then for the heel, you knit together until you have 64 stitches. And then you do the heel with 64 stitches, increase again, and then do the foot. And then you're gonna decrease for the toe, and then do the toe in 64 stitches, which I think is a really strange way to do socks. I mean, I get it if you don't want to like have to change needles, but I feel like you could just change needles and it would be fine. The one trouble I'm having right now is like, I don't want her to see these before they're done, but also her foot size is a lot smaller than mine, so I can't gauge the length of the foot on my foot size. She was a size 6, and I found a chart online that had the like the inches for different shoe sizes. So like a 6 and 6.5 is like 8 3/4 and like 8 and 17/16 7-inch for those shoe sizes. So I'm aiming for about an 8-inch foot in total, including the heels and the toes. So it's a 1.5 inch toe. So I think I just need to knit one more color. So it's in the pattern that I have, it's actually the cuff color, which I think is really cool. So I think I'll be fine with that. And then I'm gonna block this and give it to one of my classmates who has the same size as her, and just have her try it on, hope it fits. And then I'll knit the other one. But if it doesn't work at all, I might just like, I won't rip this out again. I won't rip this apart because I did something funky and I just like cut every end when it says not to. But I remember one time when I was knitting this, it just got super frustrating trying to knit this pattern. But yeah, so these are these socks. They're super simple, super relaxing. It's a super simple, how many times am I gonna say simple? It's a super easy pattern to repeat. It's lovely. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's lovely. It's super fun. So those are those socks. Those are just a whip present that I have right now. Again, bag from Lacrosse that I got. So, whoop. Okay, my next finished object are a pair of socks. Yeah, everything is a pair of socks, except one thing, which is a test knit, which I'll share. So, next are my Snuggle socks by Maxim Seer. Look at them, they're so cute. I love oh my gosh, I love these socks so very much. They were such a joy to knit. Yeah, I mean, I talked about them last time. Last time I was about, I don't know, maybe it was about to here on the lining, and then I had knit the entire sock, and then I knit the other sock, because it has been 6 weeks since I last podcasted. So of course I got a lot done. And I've started quite a few things without you guys knowing. Sorry. But the yarn in this, the inside lining is Egret, again by Muse, in the colorway Crush. And then my yellow is Muse Sparrow DK in the colorway Honeycomb. And then the heels, toes, cuffs, and the background mosaic is just a Barocco Ultra Wool DK that I had left over from my bubble sweater that I did. And I have a lot left over, so I could probably knit another one of these with that exact same yarn. Probably not, I don't think so. But I love these socks for lounging. They're super fun. I've worn them a couple times, I don't know if you can tell. So yeah, I love these socks. You might also be wondering, what is that your sock on? Well, my sock is on a hanger. So a week and a half ago, on my story, I had some hangers and I was like, who knows what I'm gonna do with these hangers? And I made sock blockers into them. I ordered some wire hangers from Amazon afterwards. So I have some wire hangers to make some more sock blockers. If you guys want a tutorial on how to make these sock blockers, I can show you. There is a blog post. If you just Google wire hanger sock blockers, you should be able to find it. I'll also put a link in the description below. I don't remember the name of the lady who did the blog post, but it's a blog post. And it's super easy to follow. All you need are some old wire hangers and a pair of pliers. So, pretty easy. The next finished object that I have, I'm gonna like finagle so I'm not like in the light the entire time, because the sun is right there and I'm just like in the middle of my window in front of my apartment. Okay, next pair of socks I have, again on my makeshift sock blockers, are my Leo and Roxy anniversary socks. So last year I bought the anniversary sock kit, the work sock kit from Leo and Roxy in Canada, and I bought the Slush Puppy variant, so that's like the blue color. So it's the mini skein with the blue color. I have so much of this left over that I can make a pair of shorties, which I probably will do. So yeah, that's super fun and lovely, and I love these socks. I wear them a lot. So yep, and I added, just to use more of the mini skein, I added a little stripe to my toe. I saw somebody on Instagram do that to theirs. They were doing their socks toe up, and I was like, ooh, that's cute. So I just did that. Super, super fun. And I did a garter tab on my heel, just cause I like how that fits. I still haven't fully decided what I love for my socks yet. I really don't want to like mess around with a lot of things because I don't want to take the time of like knitting an entire sock and like not liking that method of doing something. So I want to get like a sock tube machine and just knit tubes, and then I can just experiment with heels and toes and cuffs and figure out this is the thing I like. Because then if I like the heel, toes, and cuffs that way, I can knit them that way, and that'll be easy. So that's my plan in the future as of now. So next is my last pair of socks, technically, that I've finished. I have another pair of socks that I've finished, but they're going back on the needles, and we'll talk about that during the whips section. So I like just finished this pair of socks today. Technically last night, but I waited to Kitchener the toe together on the remaining sock until this morning because I didn't want to do it last night. So these are just a pair of shorties. This is modified from the Rose City Rollers pattern. It's, yeah. The yarn is Tweedy Sock by Nomadic Yarns, self-striping on Etsy. I'll have her shop linked in the description. I had leftover from just doing a pair of plain stockinette with contrast toe heel cuff. So yeah, I had like 50 some grams left, and I was like, you know what, I want to use as much as possible. I also want to see how self-striping looks when I do a heel flap and gusset. So I did that. And oh my God, is it so pretty. It's very pretty. Both my pairs don't match, but I don't care. I think they're pretty, and yeah. I don't care that they don't match. I think that just gives them a lot of character, and the fact that they're both hand knit is really cool. And I love the tweed. It's so pretty. I love tweed. It's kind of ridiculous how much, I mean, I don't knit a lot with tweed, but I have my mittens that are in tweed, and I have these socks, and I have another pair of socks that are in tweed. Yeah, so this is a modified Rose City Rollers, which is just a super simple free pattern that like everybody does for their shorties. These are top down, so I did them one at a time. I'm probably, for my next pair of shorties, I will do them two at a time, toe up, because that's my preferred method. I just don't love doing top down. I feel like it takes longer. I don't know why. Yeah, super simple. I added I probably should have added more, but I did like 5 rows of a 2x2 rib, and then I did 5 rows of stockinette, and then I did my heel flap, and then I knit my foot. I did the rounded toe decreases, but for the large, it says to decrease, the final decrease for the rounded toe is I think it's to 16 stitches, but I think that's too wide, so I go down to 12 for mine. So yeah, those were the modifications I made to those socks. Okay, and my last finished object is a test knit. So I am doing a test knit for Tiff Nealon, I follow her on Instagram. I saw that she came out with this double hat pattern. It's called the Mine and Yours toque. So the concept is that you can get a set of this yarn. It's originally knit in Forge. I think that's the brand of yarn. I think that's what the brand is. I think the brand is Forge. Let me look at my... Yeah, Forge by Hudson and West. but I didn't have any at hand, but I had some Blue Sky Fibers wool stock left in my stash from my stripes cardigan that I chest knit. So I made the adult large. Oh my gosh, I love these colors so much. This is her chart A. She has 2 different charts for this pattern. And so this is chart A on the adult size. And I'm also knitting the child small with chart B. So I'm just doing both hats because I have time and I have the yarn. I'm not using the same color though. I'm still using this white color, but I'm using a blue and a green instead. I will show you that in my whips portion. But yeah, so my results are due the 23rd of February, so in 9 days is when, I don't know if the pattern will be released in 9 days, but soon after that it will be released and it'll be available. So keep an eye out on Tiff's Instagram for her release. I love this hat. I've been wearing it every single day. I'm not usually a hat wearer because it messes up my hair and I'm pretty particular about my hair. But yeah, I've been wearing it like every day because it's so cold and this hat is so warm. I am a tight knitter, so I go up a needle size with whatever pattern I'm knitting when it comes to a garment. So that's pretty much like my only thing is I'm up a needle size on all the needles that she says to knit this on. I also lost my interchangeable US 7s in my Luca interchangeable needle set. So like I'm kind of upset because I can't purchase those separately. If I can purchase just the interchangeable needles for US 7 by Luca, please let me know because I would love to get those again because a lot of patterns require that needle size. And I also want to see what my gauge would be like on a US 7 with the color work and the right needle size, or in the recommended needle size, because this is still the correct gauge, but I'm just up a needle size. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay. Those are all my whips, or those are all my FOs. My goodness. Time for the whip parade, people. Buckle up. It is gonna, okay. Yeah, I have a lot of things that I've started. You already saw my 1 pair of socks. I'm gonna show you the mess that is this faux whip hoe thing that I'm working on. Okay, so I did another test knit for an up-and-coming designer. His name is Niklas. He recently released a sock pattern called Twisty Bois. I'm gonna show you. So I finished them and I knit the entire pair of socks. I did them 2 at a time in the round, and oh my gosh, they were so much fun. I have yet to do cable socks, and I absolutely had a joy knitting them. But I went to put them on, and it was like I could get them on my feet, but it was super, super tight, and I could barely like I got them on, but it was just like uncomfortable right around my ankle, because that's where like a bulk of the, not a bulk of the cables are, but that's where there's like 3 cables right by the ankle. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hold off on this, maybe have a friend try them on and see if they can handle it, and maybe I'll give them to them. But then I thought, you know what? Maybe I can just like, oh, here, let me show you the socks. So here are the Twisty Bois. Let me show you the front panel. Like, oh my gosh, like I love just how random this chart is, and like how it still like makes cohesive sense. Like it's so pretty. So anyways, I loved the heel in this. I think it's a fish lips kiss heel, but I don't know. It's some short row heel that I had never done before, and it was super easy, and like, I loved it. But I think that's my problem. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out the heel. I am cutting the heel out, and I am going to be doing an afterthought heel with some short row shaping decreases on the eyelets. I saw, I think it was Caleb from the Bearded Purl. He did that on his sock machine socks that he does. He just does like a few, I don't know, I'll probably message him and be like, hey, can you like show me what you do for your gusseted, your short row afterthought heels, just because I want to like get it right. See if to add a bit of length so that my foot can breathe. But I need to figure out how to get the top of my foot off, because that looks weird. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so that's these socks, and they're gonna be, these are an adventure at the moment. So they're just, right now I have this pair of socks in my Dobby sock sack bag that I got from Area 51 Fibers. Yeah, I usually use this bag for personal socks that I'm making for myself, and then any other socks I'm making, if I'm making a gift socks, I'll probably put in my my pie bag. So yeah, there's that. My next whip, ooh, I love this whip so much. My next whip is in my Fringe Supply Co. wax drawstring bag, in the shawl size. Again, Fringe Supply Co., if you don't know, is not distributing anymore, so like that really sucks. But in this bag, I have my Convoy cowl. Oh my gosh, this looks so pretty on camera. I have my Convoy cowl by Zachary Wilder. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. So this is a double knit cowl, so you can see that the pattern, you can see the right side on the top and the wrong side on the bottom. So it's, oh my gosh, this pattern is so fun. This is my first time doing double knitting, and I would say it's a super great way to start. I mean, the one flaw was I had to cast on 416 stitches and then like go from there. And the first time I did it, I miscounted. And no, I didn't miscount. I twisted my cast on. And I think I may have accidentally twisted this again somehow. Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't twisted when I started it. But then like a few weeks ago when I was holding it, I was like, wait a minute, this is twisted. But I'm like 25% done with it. So it's like, if I untwist it, it'll just look weird. So I'm just gonna leave it. And it's gonna be like pre-twist, which is gonna be fine because it's gonna be a cowl. So I'm super excited for this. This is super fun. Let me show you the yarn that I'm using. Again, this was a birthday present yarn from my boss, Sarah. So the top color, oh goodness. Nope, I mean it's white, so of course it will blow out. The top color is just her Crane Wife in Bear. It's undyed. It's plain white. It's super gorgeous, super soft. And then, I don't know if you can tell. Oh yeah, there you go, there you can. But this is cast iron in her Starling base, which is merino and stellina. Yeah, and it's super pretty. It's super sparkly, and I love how the sparkles just like bounce and play in this fabric. Like, it's so pretty. I'm super excited to get this done. I'm like just at the part where like the chart is getting kind of complicated. But oh my gosh, this is such a fun chart to be knitting. This is in the Pom Pom Quarterly issue 35. Again, this is the Convoy Cowl by Zachary Wilder. And oh my gosh, do I love it. It is super fun to knit, and I highly recommend it. That's that object. Objecto. Okay. Take some water. Okay. What should I do? What should I show next? Okay. Next is just a simple, I mean, it's not really a pattern, but it's kind of based off a pattern. So this is a blanket that I'm knitting. Oh gosh. This is a blanket I'm knitting. You might be like, what is that? Is that the habitation throw? And I say, no, it's not. Because this is knit, I am knitting this out of Lion Brand, Velve Luxe. So 246 yards, 150 grams. This is a Aran weight. It's kind of bulky. I will call it bulky more than like worsted. I'm knitting this on US 11. Yeah, it's my own design. I'm just taking inspiration from the habitation throw, but I have not, I'm not using the habitation throw pattern. I have four of these cakes that I'm just gonna knit on until they're gone, because I don't want to have this anymore. I don't want to have this acrylic yarn, and I think it would just be a super cozy blanket to have and just lounge in. Yeah, so that's this. It's just gonna like go by. If you guys are interested in the pattern that I'm using, like the repeat that I'm using, I'll just type it up in the description underneath this. I'm gonna call it, I don't know what I'm gonna call it. It's just a simple diagonal blanket. Corner blanket, I'll probably just do corner blanket, and I'll just do the row repeats. The wrong side and right side row repeat in the description if you guys want to use it as well. Yeah. Next, I will show you the other test knit. So this is, again, the Mine and Yours toque by Tiff. So this here is the, I've like just started chart B. I'm about six rows in on chart B. And then this is the child size. Super simple color work. The green is moss green, the blue is October sky, and the beige is gravel road. I didn't say it before, but the red is cranberry compote here, and then the brown is dark chocolate, and then again with gravel road for the lines, for the lighter color work. So it's a super fun knit so far. Both charts are super easy. I like how charts are written to be knit in both sizes. So the adult size is a longer chart and the child size is a slightly shorter chart. And they're indicated on the pattern which chart is for which size. They're the same repeat length, so it's a 16 stitch colorwork chart that's divided in the hat. I really love how she does her crown decreases. It's kind of like she stays in the panel, in the colorwork like repeat panels, and just goes there, and it's kind of like meets in the middle, and it's super easy to do. So that's that, and it's super fun. I'll probably have this done in a few days, probably. So they'll both be done by the time I have to like give her my notes and things, which isn't much. So yeah. The next, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna talk for a minute about this bag that I have. because I am in love with it. I splurged because I don't have enough money anyway, and I bought a bag from Caleb and Justin at the Bearded Purl, and oh my god, oh my god, I love this bag. So this was in their February update. I think it was February. And oh my god, I am so in love with this bag. It is a absolutely gorgeous, just woodland creature, and like rosemary and thyme and mushrooms and like little sprigs, and oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love this strap here, and I'm just like, I'm in love. And I love the orange detail here with it, because it's like the same as like some of the stars, so it like pulls together really well. Like, they're just so smart. But in this bag, I have a Stephen West shawl. I am currently working, I'm not currently working, on hold. I have started, but on hold I have the Flying Foxtail shawl by Stephen West. So I'm just about at the point where I'm gonna start my first like foxtail, and I'm super excited. I'm actually going to be waiting until March to continue this, because I am going to be joining Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting. He is doing a Kingship and Friends knit along for his birthday month in March. And I just adore him, and I want to be his friend, and I want to be his friend, because he's super funny. And I watched his podcast yesterday, and I commented, I was like, hey, I have this Stephen West shawl that I've started, but I just started it to get it on the needles, and I haven't touched it in I haven't touched this in like 2 weeks, because I just have other things that I want to be knitting on, and I don't want to knit on brioche. And I was like, can I just use this whip as like my entry? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I love this. This pattern is so fun so far. I started it once before, but I did it holding my Surrey double, and I didn't really like how fluffy the Surrey was. But the Surrey that Stephen West uses is denser anyway from most other Surrey, because Kingship fiber is like a sport weight, and my Surrey is a lace weight. So I was like, oh, hold it double, and it'll make sense. So I have skeins of my colorways here. So here are the two colors I'm using. Oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. So again, these are both Muse2320 Fiber Co yarns, because I'm obsessed with her and I am in love with her. I love my boss, Sarah. I miss you a lot. But I was like, oh, I'll need 4 skeins of Surrey, because that's what Stephen uses. But also, the Surrey that Stephen uses is like it's like a sport weight Surrey. So it's like 100 and something per 50 grams, and this is a lace weight 328 yards and 50 grams. So I really only need 2 skeins. So but I have enough where I could do something else with this Surrey, which I have ideas for Surrey, because I have a lot of Surrey leftovers that I want to use in like a sweater or something. But anyway, so my main color here is Dovetail. This is on Crane Wife, which, like I've said before, is 100% superwash merino. It is 143 yards in 100 grams. So it's just like an absolutely beautiful tonal taupe, with like a lot of flecks of brown and everything, and yeah. And my contrast color Surrey is in the colorway Solidago, which is just gorgeous golden yellow tonal, which I am in love with. And oh my gosh, this is the right side of my fabric, and just like, look how they play off of each other. And just look, it just makes me think of like sun rays. Yeah, I'm absolutely in love with it. I also love this brioche tab. It was kind of confusing on how I was like doing it at first, especially when I had my Surrey held double, and I really shouldn't have done that. But I loved how it just played, how it's been playing out. So yeah, I'm super excited to see how this goes, and I probably won't start to touch it again until March, when Michael's Cowl starts. So yeah, that's the plan as of now. I love this bag, and if by chance you get to snag a Bearded Purl bag in their next update, please do, because they do their whenever they do a shop update, I think 5 or 10% of their proceeds go to a charity, which I think is super awesome and a super great way to use your business as a way of helping others, because not everybody is able to donate to charity themselves or doesn't know exactly what charity to go to, but I feel like having a place where they can go and support somebody a little bit and also help others in a way of like giving to charity is really, really awesome. So I'm really, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah, I have one more whip. I can't believe I have one more whip. I thought I had like 20 whips, but I guess I don't. I guess it felt like I have had like 20 whips. So my last whip is in my Fringe Supply Co. Bury Me with Yarn and Needles, and I Shall Rest in Peace bag, which is my super big tote that I have and that I love. So in this, oh my god, this is gorgeous. Oh my god, I didn't even realize how pretty this was. Wow. So in this bag, I have started my rug sweater by Junko Okamoto. So this is a super simple colorwork sweater, oversized. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I just finished the first colorwork section. I'm currently on section 5. The way the pattern's laid out, it's laid out in different sections, and I'm on section 5, which is another short row, which is the start of another short row. But oh my gosh, look at that easy, simple color work. Oh my god. And that color just like pops so beautifully. So the yarn I am using Wool Addicts Air. Boop, boop, boop. So my main color is this. It is number 26. It's a super amazing taupey brown, super neutral. And then my contrast color is 35. No, 35. Which is this really deep, rich blue, which I think pops beautifully against this tonal. And oh my gosh, I have no complaints so far about this pattern. I just need to read it. I was like reading through it one of the sections. I was like, wait, how long am I supposed to do this repeat for? Because the way that it's like written, it's kind of confusing, but it makes sense if you just read it and remember what all of the abbreviations mean. So yeah, that's like all like my knitting things. Yeah, super fun so far. I'm able to stay busy. I'm doing probably a little bit too much procrastinating. I should be focusing more on my schoolwork, but as of now, my grades are pretty okay. So I feel comfortable enough to relax and knit. I do have a design in my head, kind of, for a shawl a super simple shawl that I need to knit a gauge for before I can get some more yarn, because I know I will need more yarn for it. I just want to knit 2 different gauges to see what combination I like more. So yeah, that's a really big thing that's coming down the pipe. Now I guess next I can show you some of my yarn acquisitions and a little bit of sad news in the knitting community. So the local yarn shop, down here in Lacrosse, Wisconsin, Unwound, has officially closed. Yesterday was their last day open for customers, but they still are selling yarn online so that they can get rid of much of their product as possible for them to clean shop, which is, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad that COVID hit them horribly and they have to close this year, but I hope eventually they can come back in the future and be as prosperous as they were. So when I got back into town early January, I went and I snagged a few things with their closing sale that they had, and I'm gonna maybe start a new adventure in the fabric community. I'm going to first show you this. Ooh, it's a drop spindle. I'm gonna start spinning, because why not? Because I can try new things. So I'm gonna see how this goes. I did also buy some fiber. I bought a little ball of some wool, some like more rustic wool. It had a tag, because I'd spun some of it and it turned out real bad, so I just threw it away. Sorry. But it was my first test and I was like, I don't really like how this looks and I don't want to keep it to remind myself how bad it looks. And I also don't have anything to like keep my spinning safe, or like to like block my spinning. I don't have one of those like arm things that you put your hand spun yarn on. So yeah. So I have this skein of roving, I think. I think it's just like some sheep roving. Super cool. And then I also bought this neon skein from Notzilla. This is, oh, there's no color weight name on this, but this is a 75-25 braid. It's in a super bright green and there's some blue in the center. So yeah, I'm excited to spin this up. Hopefully once I get better. I don't want to use this until I feel really confident with a consistent like thread, because I'm kind of a perfectionist and I kind of want it to be perfect. But I understand that it won't always be. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. But I also just bought some regular skeins and from there. So I bought a sock blank from there as well. So this is it's actually a double knit sock blank. So it's just 2 fingering yarns held together in this sock blank so that you can do socks 2 at a time, or you could do DK socks. And if you do socks 2 at a time this way, the socks will be the same. And I think I might do that eventually. So it's a super pretty gradient. So yeah, I'm super excited to knit with this eventually. I don't know when, but it'll happen eventually. I don't remember who dyed this, but I will have their yarn shop, because I'm pretty sure they held a lot of indie dyers and local lacrosse dyers. So I'll find again who knit this up and I'll have it in the description. Yeah. And then I bought this skein of fingering weight yarn. It is by dyemonkeyyarns.com. It is in the colorway Ooh, sorry. Okay. It is in the colorway Hound the Downs. It's a 75/25 sock weight yarn. It's a super pretty red color, but I'll probably end up doing a pair of socks in. So yeah, super simple. And then before I left Hastings, I was hanging out with my boss, and I was just like, hey, you've had these skeins of yarn here forever. Are you ever gonna like actually sell them or use them? She said no, and just take them. And I was like, okay, I guess so. So I got some skeins that I'm probably gonna try to do some designing with, maybe. And yeah, I'm super excited for all these. Most of them don't have labels on them or color names. So yeah, so I have these 2 skeins of blue yarn that are exactly the same. So I think this is a test of her Bluebird colorway, if I'm not wrong. And it feels like it's on her Crane Wife base. So 4-ply superwash merino, 100%. Blows out really well, great. But it's a super pale, not pale, super bright blue. I think it's probably like her Bluebird like test that she did. This one does have a label. This is on her Whippoorwill base, which is an 85/15 merino nylon in her colorway Stockholm, which is a super deep blue color that is lovely. I love this color so much. And I really love her Whippoorwill base, but I don't think she'll hold much of it anymore, which sucks. But it's a really nice high twist sock yarn. This is, this looks like it's probably cast iron, but it's a tonal black. This looks like her 2-ply Crow. So it's like an 80/20 sock yarn. Super pretty, super tonal. Love it. This also is on her 80/20. This was a test for the Minnesota Knitting Guild. She did a huge batch of yarn for them. And so this was her test for what she was gonna do, but then she figured, I think she said she was like, I don't wanna do it on this base. So she stopped, and this was the one skein that she did on this base. It's a gray with some blue splashes on it. If you head into Muse2320, you'll see the actual yarn that's gonna be for the Minnesota Knitting Guild up in Wisconsin, I think. It's in this giant bag, and whenever somebody asks for it, she's like, it's for a special order for Minnesota's Knitting Guild. So there's that. This I think is either an oopsie or a test for maybe rosin, but it also could be honeycomb or tobacco. But it's a super tonal brown with some caramel in there, and it feels like this is on her 100% superwash merino 4-ply. I love the differentiation in this. So we'll see what I end up doing with all of these skeins. And I have 2 more skeins from her that I got. This is a pink on her Sparrow DK. Oh my goodness. This is a pink on her Sparrow DK. Super lovely, super gorgeous. I don't really knit with pink, but I'll probably design something with it as an accent color. I also have a lot of DK in my stash from leftovers, so I might end up doing a color work thingy. And then this last one is May on the Mississippi. This is one of her like really early dye lots. This is dye lot 14. So probably within the first year of the shop being open, this just probably wasn't sold. So May on the Mississippi on Raven, which is 100% superwash merino. Aran weight, 181 yards. Oh my goodness. Gray, some yellows and pinks. Super amazing. I love this color. Super pretty. And this last skein of yarn I bought at the Yarnery in Minneapolis. And I am going to be using it to make the Best Beret by James Watts, which I probably should start. I'll probably start that today because I'm bored and I don't want to work on anything else. So I'm going to start the Best Beret probably while I'm editing or probably while this is processing on YouTube. So I bought a skein of Brooklyn tweed shelter, which is a woolen spun 140 yards to 50 grams. This is in the color cast iron. I'm super excited to knit with this. I so badly want to knit a sweater out of Brooklyn tweed, either shelter or loft, just because I hear it's such an amazing fiber to work with. And I think this beret will be an amazing gateway for me to saving money to get a sweater's quantity of it, because this is expensive yarn. So yeah, I currently have a mess in front of me and I have to move my couch back against the window so my roommate doesn't come back and the apartment is a mess. But yeah, I'm going to get ready and to make me and my roommate a Valentine's Day dinner. We're not dating, but we are best friends, and I just wanted to make him something for dinner because why not? We've been making a lot of HelloFresh dinners together and it's been super fun. So I just want to give him something special because I don't know, this is the closest I've ever been with a college roommate. We're both music majors, so we have a lot of things in common and we have a few classes together. So I'm just making a simple barbecue and brown sugar chicken. And then I'm gonna make some corn. Yeah, it's gonna be super yummy. I'm super excited. So I'm gonna get started. I don't think I'm gonna get started on that quite yet. Probably do that in about an hour. But put all my things away, get this transferred over to my laptop to start editing. Yeah, I'm super happy and I'm super excited to be podcasting again. If you guys would prefer that I podcast more often, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, tell your friends. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I want to thank the Boozy Bears for shouting me out on their podcast. They did a podcast where they shouted out their favorite podcasters and they shouted me out, and oh my gosh, seriously, thank you guys so much. I haven't been watching you guys for long, but I think you guys are so funny and so inspiring. So yeah, thank you again. I don't know, thank you for all the love and support you guys have been showing me. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to be happening still, and I'm super excited that you guys are on this journey with me. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, whatever is happening for you today, and stay safe out there. Bye guys.